Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel, here with my worst and most disappointing books of 2019. I thought that I would get this out of the way for my wrap-ups because honestly, I mostly just want to talk about books I loved, not books I didn't enjoy. Oh boy. So I only DNF'd a total of 3 books in 2019, which doesn't feel right because honestly I probably should have DNF'd a few more of these. But some of these were books I was really excited for. Some are books I just picked up on a whim and was so disappointed in. And some were just DNFs because I wasn't in the mood for them. So first we have Rock Redemption by Nalini Singh. For me, this DNF was mostly just I wasn't in the mood for it and I was not feeling this book when I was trying to read it this year. So it's kind of in the DNF pile, but it's in the I might come back to you pile. Next we have Menace by J.M. Darnhauer. I hated this book. So one of the things that bugged me about it is it's like a mafia book, but it wasn't well set up or well defined, the situation. And the girl heroine was not the best and his treatment of her was awful. So I DNF'd it very quickly. She was she was a thief and was robbing dudes, pretending she's gonna go hook up with them and then robbing them instead, which I'm here for. But it got a little weird there. And then the last DNF is The Bargainer by Laura Thalassis. So I was trying to read this, I think I got 25 or 30% through, and I just was miserable. It was so boring. I enjoyed Pestilence for what it was. Obviously, I know that there's a lot of problems with that book, but I still enjoyed it. This I couldn't get beyond. It was weird. He'd been coming, it's basically Death, who's a fairy, had been coming to see her since she was young, and it just felt a little too groomer gross to me. Not my thing. Let's see. So the disappointing books. This is I think the funner section than the DNFs personally. So I have 4 books on this list. And actually this is my second time filming this video because I realized I left off a book and was well, I'm just gonna redo it because I have to talk about this. So first we have Reber by Bella Aurora. This is a series I've been reading since 2016 or 2015. I was so excited to find out the sequel finale of the story was coming out. I read it, it dragged. It was the slowest thing I've ever read in my life. It was terrible. So the end of Raw, I do not even remember their names. He goes off to protect her because he's an ex-gangster mafia type dude, and she stays to raise their child and is getting secret money. Well, you don't know at the end of that book if he's dead or alive. You kind of know that he's probably alive, but you are kind of this is shitty. It's not an HGA in any way, not even a Happy For Now. It is none of that. So I was mad. I was real mad. And then this book came out and I was oh, this will be great. I remember loving that other book. Y'all, it was so bad. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I changed, if her writing changed. I just was miserable and I don't know why I finished it, but I felt I had to finish it because I'd been waiting so long for this sequel. Next we have Fire Inside by Kirsten Ashley. This just lacked the Kirsten Ashley spark that I normally love. This was a motorcycle club, which already is not my favorite thing. And then it was also just slow and boring, honestly. It was not for me. I did not enjoy it. I pretty much got through it as quickly as possible because I had it as a NetGalley arc from forever ago. So I just wanted to be done with it and review it. Next, we have Infatuation by Aurora Rose Reynolds. We have the same situation. I read all of Aurora Rose Reynolds' back catalog in 2018, I think. And I loved it. I was in. It's over the top. It's banana pants. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. And I really enjoy it. And I own a bunch of them signed by her. I love her stuff. Well, she has this Underground King series and this character Justin who shows up in her Until series and in the Underground King. Well, he finally got his own book. And I've been dying for his book. He's this sweet alpha cinnamon roll. He's not super alpha, but when he needs to be, he is. But for the most part, he's basically just a cinnamon roll. And he goes to help protect his neighbor who's pregnant. And it's just it felt she was smashing all these plot points from the other books together to then fit this character in. and him into the story. I was so sad. That book just, I finished it and I texted my bestie and I was like, so that was not great. And she was like, yeah, that was not great. What is going on? We'll see. I've got a couple more of her books to read this year for review. So I'm hoping they hit me in the same way that her other stuff used to hit. Oh, and last but not least, this is the only, this is the second book on this list that is not self-published. Waiting for Tom Hanks had the markings of something I would love, and that would be a delight to read. Boy, I was so excited. And then I read it, and I had an arc of it. I had a physical arc of this book. I gave that physical arc away at a book event this year. I just like set it down somewhere for someone to take because I didn't want it. She was actually at that book event. She was really well spoken on the panel and I really enjoyed her there. But this book read like YA, and it's an adult romance. It basically mentioned Tom Hanks on every other page and a movie. She had the most unrealistic expectations I've ever read in a book in my life about finding love. And it just felt forced at the end of the day. But the one caveat I have here is I do actually kind of want to read her next book because I'm more interested in her friend and the coffee shop owner in this book's story than I was in this, like in her story. Also, like, it's basically closed door. It's not quite, but it's almost right there, closed door. And I just, I don't expect that going in. I'm always sad when it happens. And there was like one sex scene. That was it. Also, the main character doesn't even view like her uncle, who has been her caregiver, as like a human being, which also peeved me off. She just was a mess, and I'm still like angry about that book, honestly. Like, I'm grumpy that it was so bad because I really, really wanted to love it, like really did. So those are my worst and most disappointing books of 2019. Let me know in the comments below if you read any of these, what you thought, or one of your most disappointing reads of 2019 and why, because I always like hearing this. I think, you know, even if you liked one of the books I didn't, that's okay because we all have different reading tastes, and I love seeing what other people's reading tastes are and how different or similar. Be sure to subscribe so you get the rest of my 2019 wrap-ups, including favorite books, favorite non-romance books, series I'm going to finish in 2020, a bunch of things to react to in 2021. I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully Peas is not knocking the camera around. And I will see you then. Bye.